All right, so what is a chore that you guys have had to do? Maybe it's your job to unload the dishwasher every evening, or you have to take the trash out once a week, or maybe at school you have to sanitize tables, or help a teacher clean up with something, or maybe for you, you had to empty all of the dog hair from the vacuum. It's gross, I've done it before, I don't know why that thing gets so full. But no matter what it is, all of us have had to do some sort of chores at some point in our life. For me, my main one was the dishwasher. Now, I hated the dishwasher. It was always clean and needed unloading, or there was always a sink full of dishes to do, and I really just wanted to smash them. Sometimes chores can be fun, but most of the time, they're things that we dread doing. Why do you think people have started using the word chore to describe tasks they don't actually want to do? People don't want more chores. And sometimes when we hear about serving or think about serving other people, we have the same reaction as when people talk about chores. We might listen to our pastor or parents or someone else talk about serving other people, and it just seems like something that we're forced to do, and that's not fun, and it doesn't really have a real purpose. The truth is, though, that's not true. Serving is a calling, not a chore. Now, you heard that right. Every single one of us, if we trust in Jesus, are called to serve other people. And Jesus himself called us to serve, but even then, he didn't just call us, he actually showed us through his example. Now in John 13, we see Jesus and we see his closest friends eating dinner together, and man, I wonder who put the dishes in the dishwasher after that dinner. Never mind. That night, actually, Jesus ends up being arrested. Jesus ends up being killed. And so on his last night, Jesus decides to spend the evening with his friends. And they're sitting there and they're eating and they're talking together. And Jesus gets up from the table and does something completely crazy. Here's what it says. Jesus knew that the Father had given him authority over everything and that he had come from God and would return to God. And so he got up from the table, took off his robe, wrapped a towel around his waist, and he poured water into a basin. Then he began to wash the disciples' feet, drying them with the towel he had around them. Now stop here for 1 second, because Jesus washed his disciples' feet. That might seem super weird to us now because that's not something we do. But back in that time, foot washing was not uncommon. Since people walked everywhere and didn't always have the most protective footwear, their feet got super gross from the dirt and dust on the roads. Some of you already have gross feet. Imagine what your feet would be like and smell like after a whole day of walking around outside. However, foot washing was the job of either a slave or a person in a lower position. And so Jesus washing his disciples' feet was a complete role reversal. Jesus, the person of highest authority, not only at that table, but the entire world, God, was kneeling and taking on the role of a servant by washing feet. Now wait, because in verse 12, we continue. After washing their feet, he put on his robe again and sat down and asked, "Do you understand what I was doing? You call me teacher and Lord, and you're right, because that's what I am. And since I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you ought to wash each other's feet. I have given you an example to follow. Do as I have done to you." Guys, when we serve, we're following the example that Jesus showed us. We are obeying what Jesus told us to do. We are serving, and we serve because Jesus served. If we want to be more like Jesus and grow in our relationship with him, we gotta obey what he said, and we gotta follow what he did. And that means serving other people. But there's one more part of that story that we might miss if we don't look close enough at one of Jesus' disciples and closest friends. Now, his name was Judas, and Judas betrayed Jesus just hours before this meal took place. And Judas agreed to turn in Jesus to the people who hated Jesus. Yet, Judas was sitting at the table with the other disciples. Jesus washed Judas's feet, knowing that Judas had betrayed him. Can you imagine that? Like, would you share something with your brother who just punched you in the head? Would you offer to give lunch money to the girl at school who just talked about you behind your back? Would you comment something kind on someone's post after they just posted an embarrassing picture of you? I don't think I could do that, right? But man, we show Jesus when we serve. That is when we show Jesus to everyone. Being kind to someone who's mean to us and serving someone we might not actually get along with is super hard. But we have the chance to show Jesus to them when we serve them. Think about how much of an impact we could make on someone's life if we chose to serve them instead of ignoring them, instead of acting mean to them or treating them the same way they treated us. Guys, it's easier than you might think to serve. You can serve someone in your family. You can serve someone at school, in your neighborhood. You can hold a door for somebody. You can rake their yard. You can help your sibling with homework. You can offer to stay after school to help your teacher. You can serve around the church. You can hold babies in the nursery. You can help in the tech booth. You can sanitize rooms after everyone's gone. And serving doesn't have to be complicated. It's a calling that we all have. And so my question for you is, who can you serve today? Don't let the day end without talking to somebody about some ways that you can start getting involved in serving. Guys, I hope you have a phenomenal week, and I'll see y'all later.